Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session, focusing today on studying in London with today's sponsors, Kingston University, London. A few things about today and what we're going to go through. We're going to go through everything about postgrad.com. We will go through how you can win an opportunity to win a bursary. Opportunity to go through reasons to study in London. We'll have a special presentation with videos from Kingston University, which I've got a glimpse of already, which is great, along with upcoming insights as well. Just a reminder at this stage, by viewing this video and by signing up, whether you're watching on demand or whether you're watching live, you are giving ourselves, Postgrad Insights, Postgrad Solutions, and Kingston University permission to contact you in the near future regarding any marketing activity or any questions or inquiries that you may have. So in terms of postgrad.com and what we offer, we have over 10 million students that have used our site to find our perfect postgraduate program, with choice of over 200 countries for you to study at. High caliber international scholarship partners such as Marshall and Chevening scholarships, and we're right slap bang in the middle of those application stages now. So if you haven't already, head over to those websites or Postgrad for more information. The best advice on accommodation, visas, careers, English language support, funding, and much, much more. Effectively making Postgrad Insights and postgrad.com the one-stop shop for everything you need to know about postgraduate studies. Also, you'll notice there it mentions about the eligibility to win a £500 bursary with Postgrad Solutions, and a bit more information about that in terms of who is eligible. But in that nutshell, anyone is eligible. So full-time, part-time, distance learning, students studying in any country, whether they've applied January this year, 21, September, just now, or January 22. Please get your applications in by the end of September, so that's just a couple of weeks away, for the chance to win £500. There are 15 different scholarships, there are bursaries that we hand out. It doesn't affect any other funding that you apply for. So you'll see with today's sponsor, Kingston, I'm sure they'll have funding opportunities and scholarship opportunities. It won't impact that at all. So please get your applications in and make sure you get them in the next couple of weeks. Reasons as to why study in London. Many of you, whether you live in the UK or on an international basis, will have known about London before coming on today's session and the great cosmopolitan city that it is. But why should you study here? So academic excellence, top universities all over London, from today's sponsors, Kingston to City University, all the way to North London, Middlesex University, some great universities to study at, different niche specialists, great opportunities. Endless choice of courses all over London, not just in London as well, within a 30-mile radius of London as well. You've got the likes of Surrey, the likes of Reading and Hertfordshire, all accessible to London. Cultural attractions, the likes of Westminster, Hyde Park. Many of you will see this from the news, the TV. Many of you may never have visited London, but they truly are wonderful sites and wonderful places to visit. So please, if you come over, plenty of things to do. You will not be bored coming to London at any stage. Travel connections, very well connected. Two international airports in Gatwick and Heathrow, not really any further than half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on where you're studying on a tube. And also tube, train, coach connections as well. And student discounts available with certain providers as well. It's a very welcoming, diverse population in London. No matter where you are in the world, you won't be alone. You'll find your nationality, you'll find your culture in London, whether that be Portuguese, you don't speak any English at all, whether that be French, to the Far East. It could be that you're from the States or from Australia. You're going to have a lot of interest, and there's going to be a lot of people that will be in the same boat as you. So huge opportunities to socialize with people all over London. Fantastic cuisine, street food markets, Michelin star restaurants, everything you need to know. Again, when you arrive at the university, depending on where you're going, Kingston, I know, do it as well. They do give you a guide, and many of these universities as well don't actually sit in the heart of London. They're just on the outskirts of part of Greater London and in one of the counties. So great places to live, great nightlife, great socializing skills. Nightlife, we've got bars, we've got restaurants, even as far as things like sport clubs, there's things like football, tennis, cricket clubs all around London. So you won't be shy of things to do. You can get involved for your mental health. You can go and watch. And it's a way of making friends as well when you come over, because it can be quite daunting. So enough from me today. I would like to hand over at this stage to our sponsors, Kingston University. We do have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation from Kingston. We do have a few questions that have come in already. We have made note of them. If anyone has any questions in the meantime, please put it in the chat facility at the moment, and we will ensure that we get round to it either at the end or Kingston University will reach out to you afterwards. But at this stage, I would like to hand over to, I believe it's Alberto, Tabby, and Thomas at Kingston University. So if you guys would like to turn on your cameras, share your screens, and it's over to you guys.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Hello, 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 everyone. Sorry, I think I'm just having a little video trouble here. So the host has stopped my video. Is it possible to get it just turned on?
Sure, I'll work on that now.
No problem at all. In the meantime, I'll let Tabby start with introductions.
Brilliant, thank you. So my name is Tabby, and I'm in the student recruitment team at Kingston University, and I'll be presenting today with Thomas, and then Alberta will join us later on in the Q&A, just to help us see what's been going on in the chat while we've been presenting. And yeah, we're really looking forward to kind of chatting with you all and getting your questions answered during today's session. Thomas, did you just want to say a quick hello?
I certainly do. Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm a member of the international team here at Kingston University. Any questions that you guys might have about sort of international study, or what it is to sort of maybe being a new face in a strange land, I am more than happy to sort of answer questions about that. We'll be talking a little bit about I'll be talking about Kingston from sort of an international perspective. You might guess from my accent, but I am not British. Obviously I'm happy to sort of answer any questions about that. And that's basically us. That's basically me.
So I'm going to let Thomas start this presentation, and then I'll be joining in a couple of minutes to talk about a couple of things with you guys. So Thomas, take it away.
Certainly. Hello, everyone. I'm still a disembodied voice, but I'll try and be as engaging as possible. So hello, welcome to today's presentation. So again, we're going to be talking a little bit about what it means to sort of study in Kingston, to sort of work and live in London, from a specifically postgraduate experience. Be you sort of a home student, be you an international student. That's kind of what we're going to be looking at. I will say before we start off, we may as well sort of get sort of best way to put it. We'll present a little bit. We'll show you a quick video from all of us now, just sort of giving you a brief rundown on what Kingston is, what we're about, where we sort of stand, and as a London university. So we have a brief video presentation that we can put on for you now, and after that we'll get sort of into the nitty gritty, I suppose.
Provides a lot of opportunities, a lot of diversity, and a great place to make some friends as well.
are working with real clients. So it's amazing because we are gaining some life work experience.
Why would you study anywhere else?
Hello again, it's me. So this is me, not just a disembodied voice. So again, hi everyone. So I think you can see from that we're Kingston University. You know, we're quite a diverse kind of place. Again, we cast kind of a wide net in terms of the subjects we do and sort of what we're kind of good at and what we excel in. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. First, just a little bit of background. Again, we have talked about it a bit already in this webinar, just about sort of London as a city, but just to sort of get into the nitty gritty just a little bit more. Again, London is, as has been said, a very well connected city. So again, the public transport is superb, and that makes sort of that makes us, one of the better cities to sort of explore by yourself. And again, it's when we're thinking of studying in London or in Kingston, we're thinking so much more than sort of, just what you learn sort of in your lectures or what have you. Obviously, this is an experience. You'll want to network, you'll want to explore. This is the plan is that this is a very exciting time in your life. And again, we do like to facilitate that at Kingston. Again, we're about but somewhere between 25, 30 minutes from sort of Kingston, which is a wonderful area that Tabby will talk about, to central London, which again, famous for its hustle and bustle, its culture. It's one of the most diverse sort of places to sort of live, work, and play in the entire world. And again, all this can just be while sort of undertaking your studies at the same time. It's arguably the most culturally diverse capital in the world. Again, we've got about 18 million visitors each year. And again, pretty easy to understand why. I mean, it's continually been rated as one of the best cities in the world in a range of areas. Again, more than half the UK's top listed companies and about 100 or so of Europe's 500 largest companies have headquarters here. So again, there's plenty of opportunity to sort of find work placements, which we will talk about later, or sort of, or anything, or sort of generally network during your studies. And again, even more opportunity to find a job after that. London has a very bustling and very active jobs market, which that are always looking for skilled people with degrees to sort of fill some very, very specialist roles. Again, we have a considerable impact on the arts, commerce, education, sort of fashion, healthcare, media in general, obviously. So again, you're never going to be short of sort of new things to experience or just kind of get involved in. Again, you'll have a chance to experience sort of basically a calendar full of events. And again, that'll certainly reflect the city's general kind of, mix of sort of cultures, food, music, art, just the works. I suppose, again, we have entertainment for every taste, every interest, every budget, and again, whether you'll have West End theatre, you'll have live music, you'll have obviously some of the finest museums and art installations in the world, restaurants, bars, nightlife. There's always something new to explore, and there's always something life-changing around every corner. Whatever your favorite band is, I can assure you they're probably playing here next week. Again, we're home to 4 World Heritage Sites and a lot of iconic landmarks not to be missed. We have 3,000 parks, so you're not stuck for choice. And we've earned that has earned the city 16th place out of 100 in terms of the quality of available outdoor experiences. So it's all well and good for me talking about how wonderful London is, but I think it's probably better you hear it from maybe one of our students. So I will now pass it over to a brief video presentation from Kaylin, who is one of our current students here at Kingston University from the US, just talking about the things that she's experienced in London. So thank you very much. And then I'll talk to you soon.
Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that took me by surprise when I moved to London. So obviously one of the biggest things that kind of shocked me was just how big London really is. There are so many different parts to it and different parts of the city that you could really never really scratch the surface of, even if you've lived here for a long time. And I'm hopeful that I'll get to have more of a chance to explore it once lockdown's over, of course. And when it comes to some of the just ways of life in London, the first thing that for me I definitely noticed was how air conditioning isn't as much of a common thing, which was definitely a bit tough at first because I also come from a drier climate in the United States, so the humidity also kind of took me by surprise. But now I really enjoy the time of year, which maybe my opinion will change once summer comes by. But by then I'll have invested in a good fan, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, another thing I heard a lot when I told people I was going to move to London is that the weather is terrible. People were telling me it's always gray and it's always super dismal, and to be fair, it can be pretty rainy here, but there have been a lot of nice days since I've been here, and I also don't really mind the rain too much, so I've been enjoying it so far. And it really helps that, especially in a spot like Kingston, there are a lot of beautiful green parks and places to visit, and a lot of very beautiful countryside that you can visit with just a short train ride. So another thing that I was kind of surprised about when I moved to London is that closing hours tend to be a bit earlier than I expected. When you visited a bigger city like New York or perhaps Los Angeles, you kind of expect things to be open a lot later. And maybe this is more the case for central London, but definitely in Kingston things do close a bit earlier, which is actually pretty nice. It's a good way to help motivate me, especially during lockdown, to go out and get my errands done in the morning or in the early afternoon, so I can use my evening to perhaps work on things around the house or work on my homework. Next, I would say that the food definitely took me by surprise. I was kind of expecting the food to not be as great because a lot of people usually kind of roast British culture for perhaps not being especially adventurous with their food, but I've really enjoyed the food that I've had here. I really enjoy a nice English breakfast or a Sunday roast, and we're also really lucky to have a lot of diverse places around us that serve different kinds of foods from different places, and I've been really happy with how much I've been able to explore when it comes to cuisine. So lastly, one thing that I heard a lot when I was moving over was that the people were very unfriendly and they were really stuck up, and it was going to be hard to find a place as an American. And of course there are a couple of unspoken rules about not speaking on the tube and things like that, but for the most part people have been very kind, and I have considered myself very lucky to be here and to get to meet so many wonderful people, not only from London but also from all over the world.
Brilliant. So I hope you enjoyed that video. And so now I'm going to be talking about Kingston itself. So as we've mentioned already, Kingston has a unique collection of galleries, museum, music venues, restaurants, bars to suit every taste and budget. And Kingston upon Thames is ideally situated in southwest London, where leafy Surrey meets the hustle and bustle of London. And it's offering the perfect combination of modern city living and giving a relaxed small town feel too. And this is something our students consistently tell us is one of their favourite things about studying in Kingston. And our location and proximity to central London means that our campuses benefit from excellent transport links. And we're serviced by 2 local train stations and many bus routes as well, which are, and also, I forgot to mention, we have easy access to major motorways too, making it easy to travel from all over London and the surrounding areas too. And these quick and easy links to the city allow students the opportunity to commute to us from a variety of areas and continue to work while studying or take on work placements as part of their course too. And students can even take advantage of later trains and the night bus as well. And you can make the most out of kind of being so close to London, taking the culture in an evening on the West End or dinner in the capital, simply a change of scenery with a walk through one of London's many royal parks. So I'll pass back over to Thomas to talk about our next slide about accommodation and commuting.
Thank you. Yes, and again, as Tabby has said, obviously Kingston is a sort of a wonderful place, a well-connected place in terms of sort of its access to the rest of the UK. Easily one of the sort of probably the strongest in the, honestly, possibly one of the best in the country, if I do say so myself. However, while you're not gallivanting and going on adventures, you may actually want to hang your hat somewhere and maybe get some rest. And again, that's where sort of accommodation comes in, sort of transport and the like. I will say, obviously, from your undergrad studies, the general situation might have changed a little bit. Now that you're a postgraduate, there might be some different things you might want or need, or you might have a better sense of what you might want as a student. Which is pretty fair. Taking all that into consideration, we actually have reserved a number of spaces in our halls of residence specifically for postgraduate students. So again, we're not saying you want to avoid undergrads or anything like that, but again, if you want to live with like-minded individuals in sort of a shared and sort of secure and well-connected space, then again, at 75 Penryn Road Hall, which is one of our many halls of residence, we offer sort of self-contained studios, and these are reserved exclusively for postgraduate students, which is something that not all sort of third level education sort of centres do at present. Again, many of our postgraduate students choose to live in private accommodation, which is pretty fair. Which again, there is a sense of flexibility there, and sort of there's a greater choice of facilities, locations, and even budgets if that is a concern for you. So again, we do have a dedicated accommodation team at Kingston. Something that's important to note is just because you are maybe living off on private accommodation or anything like that does not mean we will not assist you. Again, the accommodation team is here to accommodate students. It doesn't matter if you're on halls or in private accommodation. We will sort of help you and provide advice and as much support as we possibly can. If you're not planning on living on campus, you will be joining about 50% of our student community who do choose to live off campus. So again, it's not like you'll be all on your lonesome or missing out on everything. And again, there are an awful lot of benefits to sort of, maybe commuting a bit more. So again, if you need to remain close to your home or to your work, and again, an awful lot of postgraduate students, maintain, part-time or even full-time employment, depending throughout London, and again, and the surrounding areas in general. So, and so that's something to take into account when you, with your circumstances. You will know better than we will know. But if you let us know what those are, then we will be more than happy to support you in any way possible. If you do need to stay on campus, because again, there was an event and it went on late, and again, you just need a place to rest, we do have services to support that as well. So again, we have sort of a flexi stay program for the times, you might need to sort of, basically crash here on a night-by-night basis. So again, following all of that, what we're going to do now is, again, it's all well and good to hear all of this from me, but looking at our, we're going to just briefly have a quick video presentation, and we're going to look at some of our halls of residence, because again, we have quite a few of them. They're quite a diverse sort of spread in terms of everything from their architecture to their locations, but they're all in a very commutable distance with a free university bus to our campuses, but they have various things to keep in mind. So without further ado, I will, again, we have a brief video presentation that I will pass it over to.
Welcome to Kingston University's accommodation. We're excited to show you around. Where you live while you're at uni plays a really important part of your overall experience. Here at Kingston, we've got 6 different halls of residences, and they each have their own unique character. All of them have free on-site Wi-Fi, laundrette facilities, on-site management, and 24-hour security. So whether you like to party, prefer a chilled atmosphere overlooking the river, or want to be able to wake up 15 minutes before class, we've got something for everyone. Even better, every single one of our first year students gets a guaranteed offer of accommodation in our halls, and you'll even get to pick your own room. The cost of our halls vary in price, so you'll be able to find something to suit your budget. Every one of our halls of residences are situated around our hometown, Kingston upon Thames. And Kingston really does have it all going on. You can shop till you drop in one of London's biggest shopping destinations, relax and enjoy the amazing views on the banks of the River Thames, or take a walk through our 2 royal parks and watch the deer roaming. By night, Kingston transforms into a lively and energetic hotspot for students from all across London, with its vast array of cafes, restaurants, bars, nightclubs and live gigs. We're also consistently rated as one of London's safest boroughs. Central London is just a short train ride away for those who want to experience the museums, galleries, culture, nightlife, excitement and buzz of a major world capital. And yet it's far enough away so that you still have the advantages of a slower pace of life. And now for the best bit. Let's take a peek at each of our halls of residences and the rooms. First up, we have 75 Penryn Road. These halls are located in the very heart of Kingston and on the doorstep of our Penryn Road campus. The modern single bedrooms are furnished with built-in study area, bookshelves and a wardrobe. Each room has a modern ensuite bathroom that includes your own shower pod. Students share the state-of-the-art kitchen, and there's also a huge common room with seating, study and TV areas which provide the perfect environment to relax with friends in. We also have self-contained studios available with ensuite facilities and your own kitchenette. Next up, Clay Hill. Clay Hill is one of our biggest halls of residences, and during term time it's home to over 700 students. There is a lively and social atmosphere here, but also plenty of green space so you can relax. Clay Hill is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road or Knights Park campus. Each of the single bedrooms include a desk and ensuite bathroom facilities. You'll have access to the shared social area with a TV and games room. Yep, that could be you, ping-ponging around, living your best life. Next up, Middle Mill. This accommodation has a quiet riverside location. It's a stone's throw from Kingston School of Art and only a 5-minute walk from Kingston Town Centre. Middle Mill is home to over 200 of our students. Each single bedroom has its own study area, a ton of personal storage space and a wash basin. You and another 7 students would share the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation area. Now we welcome you to our Seething Wells accommodation, which has a beautiful location on the River Thames in Surbiton. Again, this is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road and Knights Park campuses. There's lots of large green social spaces surrounding the halls. The single ensuite bedrooms come complete with a study desk. And all the kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by 6 students. And our final destination is over on our beautiful leafy Kingston Hill campus. This is where you'll find our Walkden and Chancellor's halls of residences. It's the perfect option if you'll be studying at either Kingston Hill or Roehampton Vale. Single ensuite study rooms are fully furnished with a desk and chair, bookshelves and a wardrobe. It's only a short walk through campus to our library, making this accommodation perfect for late night study sessions. And as usual, the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by the students in the flat. So that's Kingston's accommodation options. Now don't forget, it's over to you to get creative and decorate your room how you want it. So if you want to check out these rooms again at your own pace, find out about the prices and the booking process, head on over to our website and search for accommodation.
Brilliant. So now it's on to the all-important key stats. So We're proud to be ranked in the top 250 young institutions across the globe by Times Higher Education, and our students have an unrivaled reputation for starting their own businesses. And we've been rated second most successful UK higher education institute for graduate startup companies. And we encourage all of our students to explore their creativity and original ideas and have an enterprising attitude towards their studies. And Kingston upon Thames is consistently ranked one of the safest boroughs in London by Met Police. And we are a diverse and inclusive community at Kingston, and we welcome students from over 148 countries, which is pretty amazing. And we're one of only 8 institutions in the UK to be recognised with a Race Equality Charter Award. And 60% of the university's research submission was rated as world leading or internationally excellent. And Guardian lead stats. And we're proud of what Kingston University has achieved. And Guardian University League Tables 2022 ranked us a top 50 university in the UK. And this year we topped the ranking in London for fashion and textiles, nursing and midwifery. And we're ranked second in the capital for architecture, social work, film production, photography and design and crafts, which covers creative and cultural industries, graphic design, interior design, illustration, animation, and product and furniture design. We're ranked third in London for sports science and journalism, publishing and public relation. And Kingston features in the top 10 nationally in 5 subjects, with education second in the country, fashion and textiles third, nursing and midwifery 6th, design and crafts 7th, and film production and photography in 8th. So yes, a lot of great stats that we can present to you today. So I'll pass back over to Thomas now to talk about our next slide.
Yes, now this is my favorite bit. If anybody here was listening to the presentation and thinking, oh, this all sounds pretty good, but where do you stand out? What's the big sort of special thing with Kingston? Well, this is the bit now. So again, take notes. One of the things that consistently sort of sets Kingston apart from our competition, again, not just in London, but in the UK as a whole, is again our work placement scheme. This is something offered by very few UK institutions, but we do, and we're very proud of it. Again, we're one of the only universities to offer an optional work placement year while studying at your postgraduate degree. So again, a lot of our courses, in fact, probably at postgraduate level, most of our courses offer an optional work placement while studying here. So again, that would be, that is a full year of you working full-time in your industry. Again, it's not just any job or any old placement. You will be working at a company or at a place that is relevant to your industry. We never advertise work that isn't paid, as a quick aside. So again, you'll be working in your industry, you'll be making contacts, you will be you will be sort of getting on the first rung of your career, hopefully, because again, we assume that most students who study with us, again, Kingston does understand the interplay between sort of what it means to be educated and sort of how you apply that education, to the wider world and even the jobs market. So again, we understand that's a very, very core part. And again, you can apply the skills that you'll be learning in your lectures and all that directly to the industry that you want to work in. So again, the emphasis on finding a job is on you. However, on finding a placement is on you. However, we do have a placement support team, and it is their job to make sure that they support you in any way possible. We will advertise jobs as they come up. We'll make sure that the job that you have is industry appropriate. And again, that's our careers and employment team. And then that'll provide you with access again to a range of contacts. You'll get on the ladder, you'll know people in the industry. A lot of our students often graduate and continue to work for the companies they had placements at, or go on to bigger and better things, because again, they have this industry know-how that they have practical experience. And again, the idea is that when you graduate from Kingston, you are someone who is ready to take on the world. You know what you're doing, you have industry experience, and all of this is before you even graduate. So again, we want to stress here, if this is something you do at Kingston University, you will be a well-rounded, well-educated, and well-experienced individual when you graduate. And it's something we are very, very proud of, regardless of the industry that you wish to work in. So I will say, if that sounds interesting to you, that you could do an awful lot worse than looking at Kingston. And we make sure to support you in every step of the way. Again, we have contacts in a range of UK industries and world-leading companies. So again, this is something you'll have access to. You'll be able to sort of discuss this with our careers and support team. And again, that's, so if you want to make the next big step on your journey, and you want to be, again, you want to have the know-how and the academic ability, but you also want the practical skills and experience. There is almost no finer institution in the UK, although I am biased, but in my opinion, there is almost no finer institution in the UK than Kingston University, and that is the truth. That being said, I've spoken an awful lot about sort of what you'll be doing outside of Kingston. So I should probably talk a little bit sort of about our general campus and our facilities. Because I mean, we are also a location-based university as well. So again, you'll probably notice when you come to London that, construction everywhere doesn't generally kind of seem to stop in many ways. Again, it's a city always kind of building up, building out, expanding, to accommodate a pretty never-ending hustle and bustle. Kingston, much like that, has undergone an awful lot of new builds and renovation projects in the last few years. We have invested about £118 million, so not nothing, again, in transforming our facilities. So again, the idea is to provide better learning, first-class learning, and a wonderful teaching experience across the university, regardless of the course that you're doing. Again, we've completed several development projects. It's the Kingston School of Art at our Knights Park campus, which is, even if you're not studying an art course, a wonderful place just to relax and just sort of see just wonderful art or relax by the river. It's just a nice place, as an aside. And again, we've opened our new landmark building, which is the Townhouse project, which is, you are actually seeing on the screen at the minute. It is pretty much everything you would want in an educational facility. There are places to learn. There are meeting rooms. There are places to have, one-on-one meetings. We have a large, enormous library in it. We have a dance studio in it. We have several cafes. We have balconies with very, very nice views of the area. In other words, it is a place to sort of, to meet with friends. It is a place to learn with friends and colleagues. It is a place to sort of have important meetings and plan your course. And if you're a dance student, it is a place to go to dance. Again, we have, what's the word? Again, it opened in January 2020. And it has been basically the heart of Kingston. Again, it acts as a gateway for residents and businesses as well. And it was designed by the RAB award-winning and Sterling Prize nominated sort of Grafton architects. For any budding architects in the audience, that is a big deal. Again, it's centered on transforming the general learning experience, and we try to be as modern as possible with it. So again, we were talking about modern, cutting-edge facilities here. We had a major refurbishment in the School of Arts Mill Street building, and again, that's again on Knights Park campus. So again, it shows our general vision for the future. Not only of art education, but education in general. We want to help sort of further we want to essentially further the outstanding reputation that we already have, and it's quite a competitive edge that the School of Art already has as well. It's renowned for it, in fact. Many of our courses are taught in partnership with other organizations. Now, I have mentioned this already with talking about placements, but again, we have industry input and industry recognition from a lot of our courses. So again, organizations, companies, museums throughout London, they cooperate with us in terms of how our course is delivered and the content that we deliver. So again, as part of your learning, you may have field trips to the British Library, to some key museums, to some theatres, some of London's sort of historic buildings, or anything else, depending on your course. A design student might have the opportunity to curate live projects again at, London's Design Museum, and organizations like the Royal Academy. So again, big names and very important places, and wonderful stuff that, again, if you are thinking about your CV as you study, then Kingston is certainly a place that will accommodate that. Again, our location and our proximity to London generally means that we frequently have a lot of visiting speakers and sort of leading academics from international organizations on campus. So again, this complements your learning. So again, if you want to sort of get key talks and speeches and sort of industry insight from leaders in your field, again, Kingston is very, very much the place to be. Cannot stress that enough. But yes, I think I've probably gone on quite a bit at this stage. But that is basically everything from us. But thank you very, very much. I'll hand it over to Tabby.
Thank you. So on the next slide here, we have a QR code. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about Kingston, the courses, want to chat to a student or staff, then do come to our next postgraduate virtual open event. And it takes place on Wednesday, the 13th of October. And, you know, it's a great opportunity, like I said, to speak with current students and staff, learn a bit more about the course, as well as the other additional support available to you as a Kingston student, and just so much more. It's a really great thing to attend, and you know, we'll all be there and we can say hello to you. And you know, if you scan this barcode on your screen using your phone, it will pop up with the registration form so you can book to attend the virtual day. But I think that's everything from us, and I believe now it's time for the Q&A session.
Yes, if you do want to contact us at any point afterwards, again, feel free to do so. You know, we get some contact details just on the screen there. If you want to take a screenshot or anything like that, or just you know, take note of any kind of key areas. The Kingston University website is quite easy to navigate, and there's an awful lot on there. So if there's anything that we don't mention during the Q&A or after this, or you just have a thought afterwards, again, it may be there, or just feel free to get in touch. We are a friendly bunch, and we try to be as responsive as possible.
Thank you, Thomas and Tabby. Really insightful, really useful. And you know, it's easy for me to say from the UK. You know, I know Kingston, I know how great it is, and I can vouch for everything Tabby and Thomas have said as well. One question I would start with, and we're going to engage in a Q&A, but it's a question I've got for you guys, because I think that it's really important for international students to know this. Even though it's part of London, Kingston, and it's kind of touched upon it already, but is it fair to say that Kingston is within London, but without that mad city vibe? Quite often it can be very easy to get lost in a major city. But Kingston feels very homely. It feels very, not separated to London, but it feels like its own town and its own location within London that is very welcoming and very different to the vibrant city vibe, if you like.
Oh, massively. Yeah, no, I would certainly. I mean, speaking personally, I mean, I've lived around the Kingston area for a long time. Kingston is very much its own little thing. It's quite a new borough. It wasn't always part of London town itself. So it does exist on the periphery, but it's very much its own thing. Again, it's located by the River Thames. You know, there's an awful lot of sort of it's a royal borough. There's an awful lot of sort of quite palatial areas around it. You know, we have Richmond Park, we have Hampton Court Palace, but again, historically, it was a market town. So again, it's got a slightly sleepier vibe. I mean, that said, I mean, it's got quite an active hustle and bustle in its nightlife, and we have your massive shopping centres and the like. But the overall vibe of the place is very different to the rest of London. It feels like its own little sort of place, and I think it's one thing our both students and staff consistently say. Again, it's so nice. We can relax here. You can have a coffee down by the river. All that, you know, that's wonderful. But at the exact same time, if you want, you know, again, we are 30 minutes away, even less sometimes on some of the quicker trains, straight to the hustle and bustle of one of the most exciting cities in the world. It really is, in terms of sort of diversity of environments, it's easily one of the best locations in the UK. Easily, not just London.
Yeah, for sure. And that was going to be my next question, actually. You mentioned about half an hour, I think it's 20 minutes from Kingston to Waterloo on a train. So, you know, it's very accessible. And for all those international students that are reaching out saying, you know, where is it in London? You know, it is South London, south of the river, beautiful place to live and to study as well. And like I said, very, not a quiet part of London, because it is vibrant during the day, but like it said in the video, you know, a lot of places tend to shut a little bit earlier. It does seem that little bit of calmness in a very vibrant, mad city. So definitely a place to study and to live as well. It does blend quite nicely into the next question, really, in terms of accessibility in and around Kingston, opportunities to get discount vouchers and discount cards. Quite a few people have asked this. Obviously, money is a very important thing. How much does it cost to live in Kingston compared to other places? Is it affordable? You know, if you were to live on a budget, is it is it right to do that? And again, is it going to cost you a lot to live and to study outside of campus rather than on campus, if that makes sense?
That's fair. Do you want to field this, Tabby, Alberto, or?
Yeah, sure. So before I answer the question, I'm just going to do a quick introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Alberto. I currently work at Kingston University in the recruitment team with Tabby, but I'm also a student here and have been so for about 7 years now. Yes, so for those who are not from the UK, or for those who are from the UK, you probably know that London can be quite an expensive place to live. But Kingston is slightly different. So there are places to do your shopping, for example, here at Kingston, that would make it cheaper than central London. Commuting here is not as expensive either. So, and that was one of the deciding factors when choosing where to study. You know, Kingston University offers a free bus service that links up all the campuses and accommodations together. So it allows you to save money. And I guess by also being a student here, you get to benefit from student discounts as well. So once you've applied to us, once you've joined us and you started studying, you'll be given a student card that allows you to shop around with, well, I want to say 10% discount, but I know that some other places will give you even more. So some places will go as far as giving you 25% off. So yeah, very accessible. For those who are panicking about how they're going to manage to live on a budget as a student, rest assured we have teams in place to assist you. So we have the, well, I can't quite recall the name of the team now, but they will essentially help you with budgeting your money and sticking to it, because it's no good just planning. You also got to stick to that budget and you go a long way.
Yeah. Excellent. And Alberta as well, and to Tabby and to Thomas as well, keeping on the whole money thing, quite a few people, as you can imagine, asking about funding and scholarship opportunities. What opportunities do you guys offer? There are some people, I appreciate, you know, just need a little bit of help, and there's a lot of people that need more than a little bit. What help do you offer in terms of a university? What help is there in London? You've already mentioned the work placement scheme where you can earn money while working, which is great. But what other opportunities you've got from a funding and scholarship opportunity?
Well, I know there's slightly different depending on the student and their circumstances. Again, I can speak a little bit about the funding opportunities for international students. I will say a link has been very helpfully provided in the chat on the opportunities along the lines of scholarships and bursaries and the like. So again, please do check there. They'll give much more information than I can now. We do offer sort of bursaries for graduates. So if you studied at Kingston before, we offer a bursary for that. Again, we offer, or if you you know, have a relative who has studied here, then again we offer sort of a discount there. We do not offer a full scholarship at international level. I will say that we recognise a number of external scholarships, such as again Chevening Scholarship is one of the more well-known ones. We do, however, offer a dedicated international scholarship. Places are limited, but you can very much get one with the right application, and that will be £5,000 off the of the tuition fees for your first year. Again, we do have other support available, which has been mentioned. Again, we have the student funding team, which sort of will put you in the right direction. And we have a number of other funds, such as the Student Hardship Fund, and a number of smaller funds, which are aimed towards sort of disadvantaged students, or students who, again, for whatever reason, may not have had the best start. Again, these are available to a number of students, depending on sort of their backgrounds and sort of the circumstances that they come to us in. Again, Kingston is very much a place where we don't want to disadvantage students who because of their background. Where we very, very much believe in sort of seeing the potential in everyone. I mean, again, I'm speaking from an international student perspective. Alberta or Tappy may have some slightly different information with regards to home students, if there are any present.
Yeah, so as we've said, that there are some links in the chat that were posted earlier, but on a home front for UK students, we have course-specific scholarships. So depending on the course, they offer a variety of different scholarships. And we've got quite a few. So if you look on the website, You can find all the information, and as like Thomas said, it depends on your personal circumstances and eligibility criteria as well. But yeah, I would highly recommend to go on the website and have a look at those, do your research. You know, if you are eligible, then fantastic. Obviously, we recommend you to apply. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of support at Kingston, and, you know, we just want to help you get to university in you know, the easiest way and calm way, and making you feel that you feel supported financially and have all the right kind of tools available as well.
Excellent. And you know, the very relevant topic at the moment is, of course, COVID and the pandemic. This is a question that we've had quite a lot, not just on today's session, but on social media as well. What Kingston University doing in terms of students that have to come from red list countries that are having to self-isolate through no fault of their own? It can be difficult, it can be lonely. Have you guys got any regimes in place? Any strategies in place to ensure that no matter what happens, no matter what country you're from, whether you're in red, amber or green list country, they're as welcomed as possible? There is nothing to worry about. So what are you guys doing at the moment?
Yeah, no, that's a very, very fair, actually a very important question. I will say, no, we do have quite a lot of support. I will say, as a quick aside for those maybe joining us from outside of the UK, things are obviously, it's a developing situation. So again, I'll certainly be speaking about what we're offering now, but we do have a January intake, we have a March intake. So again, things do change. But I will, you know, as things sort of improve or not, as the case may be. But as it stands presently, again, Kingston University we offer quite a bit. Again, when students arrive, if they have to quarantine, they'll receive a quarantine package. So again, things like bedding, some basic sort of foods, things like that. We offer, you know, a small line of credit so that, you know, and that students can, you know, can buy things, you know, just basic groceries and the like. We do also offer a concierge service. So again, we can even if you do have to quarantine, we can get things delivered to you and all of that. Again, if a student is coming to us, they'll receive a link to quarantine support and a full list of everything that we offer them. You know, everything from a good book to a line of credit to again to food to pretty much everything. Yeah, to a SIM card even. So again, that's something we're very, very important. We're very proud of, and we strive to do, you know, to help our students where possible. Again, we understand that quarantine can be expensive if you need to pay for a quarantine hotel. We do help to refund an awful lot of the costs that you would accrue from that. And again, we have a concierge service. And again, if you at any point have any troubles at all, again, feel free to email us. We try to be as responsive as possible. So if there are any issues, you know, at all, then we make sure that we can resolve them as quickly as possible, because we do understand it's quite a difficult time at present. Again, if there are any issues surrounding your travel, we have an immigration advice service. And again, a lot of these things will apply to you whether you are in a hotel, in a quarantine hotel, or if you have to quarantine in private accommodation, or anything of the sort. It's something that we work very hard to maintain, and it's something we're quite proud of. But yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. And it's important to mention at this stage for the international students watching that aren't up to date with the UK situation at the moment. Like Thomas mentioned, it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. For now, the UK seems to be getting back to some kind of normality, which is more than other countries. In particular, London has been very good. They've been, you know, very welcoming. The city doesn't seem to be getting any worse in terms of COVID rates, which is great since it's opened up. So again, you know, there's nothing to worry about. Kingston University and many universities as well will offer help. So please don't let that get in the way of your studies moving forward. And again, we've got 2 more questions here, and then I'm just keen on time that we've got to wrap up. But again, any questions that haven't been answered, I'm so sorry. We'll make sure that whether it's Thomas, Alberto, Tabby or myself, get back to you and reach out to you. But in this way of COVID world, distance learning, campus only, are you offering blended courses at the moment? What's the situation in terms of courses?
Right. Tabby, Alberto, do you want to field this one? Or
Yeah, happy to. So at the moment, for this September starters, we're doing a mixture of kind of blended learning. So, you know, I think we're saying that 60% is on campus, for most courses, and then the rest is 40% is online learning. And it depends on the course you're studying. For example, a lot of our health, nursing, midwifery, they are mostly on campus just because of the nature of the course. But then again, others that don't necessarily have to have face-to-face learning will probably be a bit more online just for this first term. And then obviously, as government guidelines change, the situation might change. We've got measures in place to go back to online learning if necessary. But we want our students to have the best student experience as well. And we're just trying to do as much face-to-face as we can, but safety is key here. And it's just constant monitoring the situation as we go into the first term at uni this year.
Excellent. And one final question then, and it is related to the work placement scheme that undoubtedly makes you different to other universities in the region, in the city, and even in the country. Do you work with any partners? Have you got any local partners that you work with that you can help the postgraduate student get a foot in? What are you guys doing in terms of helping the student get that work placement? I'm sure you
loads of them. Too many to name here, but it's not just local partners. It's sort of national and sort of London-wide as well. Again, so we do collaborate with a number of sort of leading companies. Again, brand names that people would know, and a huge amount of them. I don't want to sort of name off a whole list in case I get one of them wrong. That wouldn't be fair on that company. But I will say a lot of that is available on our website. But yes, again, the onus to get the placement is on the student, but we support you every step of the way, and we do have a lot of key contacts. Again, we're very much a university that is sort of industry influenced, so we have an awful lot of contacts in sort of a lot of key industries. So we make sure that you can have a placement. We make sure that you have every available opportunity to have a placement, and we send placement opportunities to you if you would like them. And again, your placement doesn't have to be near Kingston. It doesn't have to be local. It will be a full year of your life. So if you want to have a placement somewhere else, that is completely fine. The UK is a big country in a lot of ways. So again, your placement does not have to be in Kingston. You are not chained to us. The important thing is that you learn in a wonderful and industry appropriate place, and that you get industry experience and contacts. That is so. Again, it doesn't have to necessarily be local, but if it is, we have local businesses, local partners, local companies in just London and the locality that yes, we do very much deal with.
Excellent. Look, thank you very much, Tabby, Thomas, Alberto, and Matt in the background as well for making this session happen. It's been very insightful. To all of you that have asked questions on here on social media, we'll ensure that we answer your question. Whether it will be me, I'm probably not best suited to answer a question towards Kingston, but one of these three guys here will be. So we will ensure that we reach out to you. But yes, Alberto, Thomas, Tabby, thank you very much. It's been really insightful, really good. And for now, thank you. I'm just going to explain a few things about what's coming up from Postgrad's point of view. So we've got the UK Festival Week coming up at the end of October, which will focus on 5 different universities, all about UK, why you should come and study over here. It'll have a Q&A session, very much like we just had with every single session. We're hosting one at the end of October, and then we'll be doing one in February. So, if there's a university that you haven't seen on this list, I'm sure they'll be on board for the February one and later on next year as well. The upcoming insights we've got. So next week, we're doing a Study in Scotland special, studying Glasgow. UK Festival Week, and wedged between that is a study law special with the University of Bristol. But for now, thank you very much, Tabby, Thomas, Alberto, and everyone associated at Kingston University for making this session happen. Thank you very much. Hopefully, there's plenty of engagement off the back of this. Students, viewers, if you've got any questions, any issues, please pop it in my direction there, gareth@postgradsolutions.com, and I will ensure that your question reaches the university. Just a reminder that mid-October, Kingston University have an event taking place. If you re-watch the session again, there is a QR code to sign up. And if you've got any concerns or issues, or you do wish to opt out of any future communications, please email that email address, gareth@postgradsolutions. But for now, thank you very much. We'll see you next week for the Study in Scotland special, and we'll see you soon. Take care, stay safe.